Hey Toby,
Yes,
come with
Judy.
me. Got some things I want to talk to you about. StartUp VIC's new strategy.
Yeah,
You got time?
yeah, let's hit it.
Awesome.
Judy!
Toby!
How are ya?
Good, how are you?
I'm really well.
That's awesome. Happy Friday.
Friday. Although I don't think this will air on a Friday, so that's just
Happy day.
Happy day. Happy days. Happy days at StartUp VIC.
It is, yeah, really exciting. 2019 ahead.
Unreal. So for those of you that don't know, this is Judy Anderson. Judy is the CEO of StartUp Victoria.
That's right.
Someone that I am super proud to sort of be behind and cheer on at any opportunity. And 2019, some big changes from what we know of StartUp Victoria in 2018 to where you're taking the company or taking the organization through this year.
Yeah, and that was something I was really excited to start talking about. It's something that we've been working on for probably 6 months.
Yeah.
A lot of ethnographic research out there in the community with founders trying to find out what do they really need help with?
Yep.
What have we done historically as an organisation since we were founded in 2014? And how has the whole ecosystem changed? The players, the supporters, the resources available, and what does our role look like moving forward based on what founders are telling us they actually need versus what we're actually doing.
Sure.
We're looking to sort of change things up a little bit based on what founders are telling us is the most important.
And I suppose for a certain part, I mean, you know, we've had plenty of discussions offline. You guys are based in our Richmond location. We're currently in Hawthorn today, but I guess the market and the startups that were in sort of like 16, 17, 18 are now further, they're either, some of them are gone and they don't exist, or those that have succeeded through that, the eye of the storm have now matured and have different needs.
Yeah.
And so do you see yourself at StartUp VIC now wanting to be able to support that further down the journey versus further up the journey?
Yeah.
Or at the start of the journey?
That's exactly right. And I would say it's still both, but it's just about where do we prioritise our finite resources. Because at the end of the day, StartUp VIC still is a tiny not-for-profit community organisation. And so we've got to be really selective about where we spend that time and the people and the energy. Exactly right. So for as long as StartUp VIC has been around, our mission has always been more founders, better founders.
Sure.
You'll see that on the website, you'll see that at all of our events and on our socials, and that's absolutely been something that has served us really well up until this point.
Yep.
But when we did a sort of strategic offsite as a board and as a broader community with some of the founders that we work with as well, the feedback was kind of, well, actually, the market no longer needs more founders.
Sure.
Everyone wants to, it seems like be an entrepreneur, like even if it's just a side hustle, or like back in 2014 you'd be lucky to find one accelerator, like maybe a couple of universities were starting to dabble in entrepreneurship courses. There are a couple of investors, if you're really well networked, you knew who the angels were and like how to get a meeting with them. But if you fast forward now to 2019, every university has an entrepreneurship degree or master's or some sort of course.
Do you think some of the universities, and we have amazing relationships with both Melbourne and Swinburne, particularly in Hawthorn, do you think some of the universities fear entrepreneurship? I know they're embracing it, but do they fear that, and I don't really have an answer for this, and I'm too scared to ask the relationships that I have, but do you think they fear, like a lot of people, like I love NBA, I love basketball. Kids are coming out of high school and going straight pro. They're not going through the college system and therefore not accumulating, whatever the debt may be on running those courses. Do you think that, and it was very interesting, I was at the Collingwood Football Club yesterday on a podcast.
I barrack for the Pies, just by the way. I do have tea. If you can see that, just trying to make
I met a couple of superstars from Collingwood, which will be on the vlog later in the month.
Nice.
And they're talking about, they feel like there's this middle ground where, hey, you're not a high school dropout, you finished high school, but the college university route is just not for them.
Yeah, it's funny, we see the same So I've been having a lot of conversations with Victorian University as well, based out in the western suburbs of Melbourne, and they see the same thing for a lot of immigrant or first generation people in their community as well, who cannot find the same opportunities for work, and so they create them. And so we're actually seeing this huge sort of sub community of immigrant and first generation founders who are opting out of a traditional career path or a traditional ideology of work and creating their own. So I guess in answer to your original question, should a university scared of entrepreneurship? I think the answer is absolutely not.
Okay.
I think if anything, they're trying to figure out, as a like underlying principle, they are there to educate people. Should be. And so entrepreneurship is now just becoming a way of working. And even if you're not becoming an entrepreneur, you're either going to be working for an entrepreneur or your customer might be an entrepreneur, even if you're working in a traditional business. So I don't know. I think maybe you should chat to Colin McLeod from Melbourne University. He's got really good opinions on this.
Colin, you've just been called out. I would love to have you on the vlog.
Yeah, he'll do it.
No, legit. I would love to have you on the vlog. I would love to understand where it's at, because I feel like, for me, I felt like I was a bit of an outcast coming through school. I didn't feel like I really belonged there. I went to university to try and keep up with my friends. I went to my mum and said, "Mum, I'm sorry, I'm going to embarrass you, but this is not for me. I'm dropping out." She's like, "Son, anything you can do, you got it. Like, I'm in support of you," which is amazing. But I now, and so those were the days of sort of like I was scared to tell my mum specifically that it wasn't for me. Nowadays, everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Everyone wants to do a startup. Everyone wants to be the next sort of Zuckerberg.
Yeah, of course. It's like sexy to be a founder these days.
It's not like, really sexy though, right?
All of the late nights, all of the bags under the eyes. Maybe it's not that sexy, but it's and this is kind of to what I was saying before. Like now, there are so many aspirational early stage founders, which is amazing because we do need the quantity to get to the quality.
Agreed.
And you do need like a few like swings of the bat to actually hit that successful home run. So what we're finding in terms of our role as a community manager, someone who is like here to support founders to succeed, is that having a 50-50 split on more founders and better founders in terms of what we deliver in terms of products and services to support founders, that actually no longer feels like the most helpful thing to do, because you've got, as I said, like universities are also supporting early stage aspiring founders. There are like 25 plus different accelerators in Victoria now. So if you've got an idea and you want to get a small amount of seed investment and some mentoring, some training to help you like fast track through those early growth stages and MVP testing, lots of different options for you. Even through to resources and like training, like the VC firms like your Blackbird, your Airtree, your Rampersan, etc. Like, and even like your scale investors designed for female entrepreneurs. Like, there's so many free resources out there. Even companies like Luna Startups, who are based out of the Cremorne Cubes as well. Like, they've got so much free training and resources.
I'll link to Luna. I'll link to Airtree. I'll link to Rampersan. I'll link to Blackbird. I'll link to
Scale.
StartMate, Scale.
Yep. Scale Investors is a good one as well. But that's like the point is that there's so many freely available resources for early stage aspiring founders. As you get a little bit further down the maturity of the funnel, to what like a lot of people would now call a scale-up founder. So like for clarity, someone who is absolutely post-revenue, typically like around that sort of 1 to 10 mil revenue mark or the equivalent in users, aspirations for high growth, and their business is structured to enable high growth, which means typically like tech-enabled. Like that type of founder who has achieved that level of success, maybe has some additional funding, they're at this funny point where there's actually not, unless they're traditionally VC funded and they get support from that portfolio, there's not a huge amount out there to help them really turbocharge to like that sort of $1 billion company valuation.
So very interesting. It's going from startup to scale up.
Correct.
And very different parts of the ecosystem.
Exactly right. And it's a totally different level. Like, so for example, like if you're a scale-up founder, like coming to a StartUp VIC pitch night is probably not going to be the most helpful, like the best way you can spend your time. So at StartUp VIC, we sort of took an honest look at our strategy and what we're delivering and thought, well, what can we do to support the scale-up founders in our community? Because that better founders part of our original mission is where founders are telling us they need the most help.
They need help,
So we kind of shifted our mission A little bit.
So cool.
I know, we have a new mission.
What it is what I love about it is mission to one side.
Yeah.
What I love about it is the market is maturing.
Exactly.
People are actually getting results and they need StartUp VIC support.
Yeah.
And so I love that StartUp VIC has been able to pivot like most founders need to pivot their business.
Yeah.
I think it's really exciting.
Yeah, thank you, Toby. So our new mission is pretty simple.
Yep.
It is supporting founders to succeed.
Great.
That's our mission. And we still have more founders, better founders as like a tagline, if you will. And that has nothing to do with the fact that we already printed the pull-up banners and don't have resources to print new ones. No, it's really about like that gives us the flexibility to, as the market changes, to deliver services and make decisions as well. Because like that's the point of a mission, right?
So are you guys going to still play at that tier, or are you going to sink a little bit further down the funnel?
Yeah, so we'll still absolutely support early stage aspirational founders. So like the pitch night's not going anywhere, the community newsletter's not going anywhere.
Pitch nights are exhilarating. They're not exhilarating for the people doing it. Maybe some of them are find it exhilarating, but like I love watching people ultimately jump off the cliff and pitch themselves to whoever's in the room.
Yeah.
It's really exciting.
My favourite part about pitch night is the free beer. No, I'm kidding. It is not free because I pay for it. It is the first 45 minutes of a pitch night.
Yep.
Before all the formalities start, it's when everyone is sort of arriving and you just see all of these little like sidebar conversations happening, and like you see people that in your head you've been like, oh, I really think that those guys should chat. And then just serendipitously, like you see them together and you're like, that's excellent. Like amazing. I really wanted them to be able to like help each other. So that's probably my favorite part is the pitch night. Yes, it's a great opportunity for early stage founders to pitch in front of investors, mentors, like previously successful founders in their field. But like for me, more than anything, the pitch night has become like this pulse of the startup community. It's predictable. It's the last Tuesday, typically, of every month. Like you always know you're going to be you can rock up and find like your tribe, which I really like.
Yeah, I'm all about it. Yeah. I'll link to, obviously you have an events page up, stuff coming up, so I'll link to that so it's current whether you're watching this vlog on Monday or Friday.
Or Sunday.
It'll be live. Very exciting. So what I would love to do, and what I'm sure the audience would love to see, is perhaps we can check back in a few months' time and just sort of like, hey, we're like a quarter through the year. What now? What's happening now? Where are we at? What's news? Yeah. I'm sure we'll see some really great businesses come out and explode, and I'm sure equally, sadly, we'll see some people and some businesses collapse. But you know, what I really think we as a people, as in the Australian people, we need to embrace failure more so than success. Because I think that failure, so long as you're learning and growing from it, is probably the best thing ever.
Oh yeah, and I don't think that's like, anyone who probably subscribes to this vlog or this community, like, that's not going to be, you know, like earth-shattering news, right? Like everyone knows the value of doing it is different. Actually authentically being comfortable in it is a completely different thing. Yeah. And that's a funny juxtaposition with our tall poppy syndrome. That's probably a whole other vlog.
I know, I'm trying so hard. I mean, when my daughter says, Dad, when you're Prime Minister, you'll be able to eradicate tall poppy. And I'm like, don't know if I'll ever be Prime Minister, babe. But I would love to eradicate tall poppy. I think that we should applaud the people that are rolling their sleeves up, if they have any sleeves, and having a crack versus those snickering on the sideline.
Yeah, and that's also something that, so even today we're kind of just talking about StartUp VIC's new mission. Underneath that mission, we've got several strategic pillars, if you will, on what we're actually going to do practically to deliver on that mission. And one of those is highlighting founders and their startups. Because Victorian founders in particular are really bad at touting their own trumpet.
Sure.
And they kind of need someone else to shout about their success and their journey. And so us as like, I guess, neutral territory, we're very lucky to have this platform and the reach within our community to be able to distribute those stories. So we're going to be looking to profile founders and pay startups their dues. So watch this space.
Yeah, and hey, like always, if there's anything I can do to add value to you and your startup, if you want to come on the vlog's getting, you know, several thousand views.
Great.
Which is overwhelming. But
I wish I washed my hair.
Me too. But look, it's a great platform. This vlog is about showcasing people from the community. StartUp Victoria is in very much the community. You guys are supporting thousands of small businesses, SMEs, SMBs as they grow up, and the people inside of them, more importantly.
Yes.
So this is what this vlog's all about. StartUp VIC, Judy Anderson, everyone. She'll be back. I'd love to dive deeper on perhaps next vlog. We can talk about one of the pillars. And each vlog we can kind of unfold some of those, just so it's not overwhelming that there's several pillars, and let's smash out several pillars in several minutes. But honestly, huge fan, but you already knew that.
Yeah, right back at you.
Huge fan of StartUp Victoria. The people. Is it true that May is coming back?
May is coming back. Yes. So for anyone who knows the StartUp VIC community, the team, May Chan, who is our events and community manager extraordinaire. She had her baby girl Indy about 7 months ago. Yeah, wow. May gave birth in May. Yeah, and now she's coming back. Yeah. So
very excited to see her
in the Creative Cubes office in Richmond.
Amazing. So great people doing great things. Thank you for everything you do. Not necessarily from me, but from them. And always a huge fan.
Of course, and thank you so much for your support as well. Of course, I don't know if anyone else in the community knows this, but we've been at Cubes now for about 1.5 years.
Since actually Georgia and Sid and May. Sid probably wasn't even there at the time. Georgia and May moved in the day we opened the doors.
Yeah, so we've been on the ground floor of Cubes since day dot, and this is something that I would also encourage as well. We are absolutely we're mission driven, we're founder focused, and that's why it's really important for us to be in a place where founders are.
Yep.
And our door is always open. So if you ever want to come and have a chat to myself, to May, to anyone in the StartUp VIC team, please come and visit us in person. Door is always open. We're on the 3rd floor, 534 Church Street in Richmond. Please come and say hello.
I'll leave the details below, guys. Thank you for your attention today, Judy. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks, Toby.
See you later.